Okay, this is day 2 of the new group working on Woody specimen, the Tyrannosaurus. Words to be unspoken. And you can see what we've done so far. We've cut more around the block. We've removed the pile of fragments and another plaster jacket. And what we've done, we've actually put plaster in the cracks of the tooth and the jaw to get further support. And we've kind of built some play around where the rocks have gotten loose on us, so we want to maintain a very steady pedestal. This is the upper jaw or maxilla of the Tyrannosaurus rex, and this is going back towards the back of the head right here, and you can see how thin and delicate this process is right here. And this is a suture that would attach to the next bone in the skull. Today we've uncovered another tooth right here, and it's a newly erupted tooth, and it's just in beautiful, pristine condition. You can see the serrations still wrap all the way around the tip of the tooth, which means it hasn't done any work yet. Tyrannosaurus rex ate a lot of meat, and therefore these teeth punch through bone, and we often see wear patterns on the tips of the teeth. Part of the reason why we're putting the clay and the plaster on it is we plan on making a rubber mold of how the fossil was found in situ. Okay, morning of June 30th, Wednesday. We're now reached the point in the process where we're actually going to make a mold of the jaw in situ. So in other words, we're going to take liquid rubber and paint it over the specimen. And this liquid rubber has microscopic detail. It'll pick up all the detail of the bone, including the serrations on these teeth here. The object is to get it painted, a rubber skin painted over this whole block. We'll let it set, and then we'll make another mold on top of it, but with plaster. And that mold is the mother mold and the carrier. When both of those are set, we'll gently lift them off, turn them over, and what we'll have is actually a bowl that has an impression of the fossil in the bottom of the bowl in high quality liquid rubber. And this rubber sets at room temperature and pot life about 20 minutes and cure time half a day. So as soon as that's cured, we can start making casts. You get an average of 25 to 50 casts out of that one rubber mold. So that's something we can use to help preserve the integrity of the specimen for the future and for educational exhibits as well. Pour it right over that. Can you see those serrations there? See? Make sure they get brushed in.
Catch that glob going down the side of the hill.
This reminds me of Ghostbusters. You've been slimed. That's great. Specimen is now covered with the dragon skin silicone rubber. The next step would be to make the mother mold or the carrier, and we'll make that out of plaster. But we don't want the plaster to lock around the bone, in other words, to trap the bone around some intricate morphology. So we're going to make little packets to stick in this foramen right here and one under this shelf right here. And those will come out. The first the mold will come out, then the little packets will come out. Then that way the plaster cap for the carrier will fit really nicely and smoothly without getting locked into any of the features of the bone. Okay, we've completed the silicone process, and you can see that we've got the entire specimen covered along with the surrounding matrix. And we've got a nice little bowl, if we turn it upside down, that we'll later fill with plastic or plaster to make our replicas of the jaw. The next step in the process, however, is to get a separator layer between the silicone rubber and the plaster mother mold that we're going to make. And the only reason you actually need the tin foils to keep the plaster from hanging up on all the little imperfections in the silicone.
Why don't you tell us what you're doing?
We're just lifting off the mother mold that is form-fitted to hold the silicone in place, and got to carefully slide it off the silicone rubber. Yes. And now we can just gently roll it over. And we're going to keep this piece. This is going to be the piece that we're going to put the silicone mold into when we make our casts. We'll put the foil. Well, I don't think we need the foil anymore, so we can just dispose of it. All the way around, just like a plastic jacket. If anywhere we have to cut it, we will. We don't want to put any tension on the bone.
Can I help?
Yeah, sure.
So even if we pull and stretch on this, it won't
Return.
undo the molding.
Right, exactly. It's a very stretchable rubber. It's one of the properties I'm very happy with.
How is this going to come off without pulling the bone out?
Hey, maybe I'll be in a video at the Science Center.
Yeah.
Show my kids someday. Mommy actually did something. Is that bone down there, or is that?
That's plaster.
Super glue. The silicone sticks to nothing but itself. So if I see a cracked bone in there, I can get the super glue and run it in there and glue it before I pull the mold off. And I don't have to worry about it sticking to the rubber. So I want to dive underneath here to make sure nothing's going on that I don't like.
Oh, and there's the other one.
Tooth number 2 is safe.
Tooth number 2.
Made a nice molded number 2. Now you can see it taking the tooth shape as it curves back into.
Yeah, and all the little foramina that are in the bone. It's so cool. I love this stuff. It just, like I said, the detail on this is just okay. So we've
Switch with
got
me,
a
David?
tight spot right here. All the clay. Well, you know, maybe we don't have to pick up very. See how it goes right back into shape that it's supposed to be. We just have to pin the side there. Okay, what the crew is doing now is isolating the Tyrannosaurus Rex maxilla so we can make a proper field jacket for it. We've already molded the bone with great success, and now we're doing the rescue operation to make sure this bone gets out before the elements move in. The next couple days looks like a chance of heavy thunderstorms, and the whole reason we're actually excavating is because this specimen is in a very precarious position, being on the down slope of this gumbo hill, and it probably would not survive another season out here in the field. Okay, we're reaching the final stage of removing the woody T-Rex specimen. This is really exciting. We've got the entire maxilla, or upper jaw on the left side of a Tyrannosaurus Rex with actually two really well-preserved teeth in place. This one here is probably the second to the last tooth, and this small one here may be the last tooth. There may possibly be place for another tooth or so right here. Right here was a blown-out tooth, and you can see some of the fragments here. This front of the jaw portion was actually dribbled down the hill, and down in this area, so it's already been collected. So this is the outside of the bone, and this is the inside of the antorbital fenestra. Dinosaurs are defined by, or orchosaurs are defined by this feature, whereas this has got a deep sinus anterior to the eyeball would be right back here. So this fenestra right here, it's not the nose hole or anything else. It's actually a sinus that's called the antorbital fenestra. And you can see there's a second level of arch morphology right here. And right here, there's encapsulates a rather large foramen in the maxillary foramen. And this would be the bridge of the nose and the nasals, and everything would lead to the top of the skull in this direction. There would be another bone right here called the premaxilla, which was the most anterior tooth-bearing element in the skull. I think you guys have seen this picture, but this is what we're looking at, this bone right that is outlined right here. This is the pedestal. This is the maxilla, the bone right here. We've got fragments here, piece of bone sticking out here. The tooth is here. So we've carefully gone around and underneath the specimen here, and we've cut a groove. And what we're going to do is wrap tin foil around this groove here, and then we'll cover that with plaster, and we'll continue that all the way around. The bone is kind of diving in this direction, so we're kind of slanted because we want to stay a couple inches below the bone in all directions. So we'll come down through here, we'll wrap the tin foil and jacket around this area here. Once we get that jacket on, we'll be able to stick a sharp object like a knife or a chisel and break that pedestal off and remove the maxilla. Just turn it right over while it's encased in its protective plaster field jacket. Okay, we've just successfully rolled the field jacket. You can see the crew has whittled around the pedestal until it was just resting on just a tiny piece. We made sure that the jacket was loose, the block was loose. Then you reach underneath it, grab as much matrix as you can, hold it up against the bone, and on 3 we just rolled it right over. No problem at all. Nice clean break.